This is a live broadcast of the main news. Noble Mawungwa is at the sign language desk, and I'm Vicky Maponga.
My name is Joyce Mabika. Our leading stories tonight.
Zimbabwe-South Africa bilateral ties strengthen as the two nations sign 6 memoranda of understanding.
In business, RBZ keeps monetary policy steady amid low inflation and stable economy.
And later on, we will look at sport. National Sports Stadium gets approval to host international matches by CAF. Zimbabwe and South Africa have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening their economic ties as both countries seek to boost trade and cooperation. This came out during the 4th session of the Zimbabwe-South Africa Binational Commission held in Pretoria today and saw the signing of 6 memoranda of understanding.
The 4th session of the Zimbabwe-South Africa Binational Commission was held at the OR Tambo building in Pretoria this Friday. His Excellency President Emmerson Mnangagwa joined his counterpart, His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, in co-chairing this session. The meeting began with a moment of silence for those who perished in the Kariba boat tragedy, with President Ramaphosa expressing his condolences to President Mnangagwa as well as the people of Zimbabwe.
We meet, dear elder brother, in the aftermath of the tragedy on Lake Kariba, where the capsizing of a ferry claimed close on to 100 lives. Our heartfelt condolences go to you, the people of Zimbabwe, and to the bereaved families. May we all rise to observe a moment of silence for those who lost their lives in that tragedy.
The BNC was established in 2015 and has been the vehicle to monitor progress in implementation of agreements between the two countries. As you noted, the need for continued cooperation between Zimbabwe and South Africa, President Mnangagwa spoke on the strong ties between Zimbabwe and South Africa, noting that the bond is rooted in both countries' ancestry and cultural ties, as well as shared anti-colonial and anti-apartheid struggles.
The convening of this binational commission is timely and reaffirms the excellent historical relations that exist between our two sister republics. The bond between us is rooted in our ancestry and cultural ties, as well as shared and anti-colonial and anti-apartheid struggles. We also have similar aspirations for more prosperous economies and a higher quality of life for our peoples. Beyond the geographic border between us, Zimbabwe and South Africa are one people with a common past and inextricably linked destinies.
The Beitbridge border post is key not just for Zimbabwe and South Africa, but the whole region in the transit of goods and people. President Mnangagwa said there is need to prioritize the construction of a one-stop border post as well as build the 3rd bridge.
To further improve the current upward trajectory of our economic cooperation, increased efficiencies in the movement of goods and the people between our countries remains of critical importance. It is commendable that there is notable progress to operationalize the one-stop border post at the Beitbridge Musina port of entry. The construction of the 3rd Limpopo Bridge is long overdue. Let us take bold measures and remove impediments so that this strategic project sees the light of day.
President Mnangagwa also underscored the need for both countries to work together across various sectors, which include agriculture and mining.
Agriculture remains the bedrock of our economies. We have the primary obligation to feed our people. More work is necessary to consolidate national food security and sovereignty, beginning at household level. Zimbabwe is ready to facilitate the training of agriculture extension workers for South Africa. I urge the responsible ministers to expedite the attendant processes.
Focusing on the relationship between the two nations, President Ramaphosa said Zimbabwe and South Africa are one people.
This meeting testifies to the deep and historic relations between the peoples of Zimbabwe and South Africa. Your Excellency, we are one people. Our spirits are inseparable. Our pasts have been shaped by shared culture, history, traditions, values, and language. Our future will be shared by aspirations. We stood together in the fight against colonialism, white minority rule, and apartheid. As South Africa, we will forever remember that the people of Zimbabwe gave us shelter, protection, support in the darkest times of our struggle.
While noting that Zimbabwe is among their biggest trading partners, President Ramaphosa said there is need to close the gap, which he has seen Zimbabwe's import bill being more than its exports.
Zimbabwe is one of our largest trading partners. Over the last 4 years, the value of our bilateral trade has almost doubled. However, there is a significant imbalance in trade between our two countries. South African exports are much more to Zimbabwean imports. Through instruments like the Memorandum of Understanding on Economic Cooperation, we need to work together to narrow this deficit.
6 agreements were signed during the BNC, and these are an MOU on collaboration between Zimbabwe Foreign Services Institute and the Diplomatic Academy of the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, an MOU on correctional services, rules of procedure governing meetings of the Zimbabwe-South Africa BNC, an MOU on cooperation in the field of agriculture, an MOU on cooperation in the field of arts, culture and heritage, and an MOU on bilateral cooperation in the fields of women empowerment and gender equality. The Binational Commission ended with hopes of stronger ties between the two countries. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Pretoria.
The South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has commended Zimbabwe's economic growth and infrastructure development under President Emmerson Mnangagwa's administration. He was speaking during a business forum held in Midrand, South Africa this Friday.
200 business people from South Africa and Zimbabwe gathered for a business forum held at the Gallagher Convention Center in Midrand. This is a meeting that was held on the sidelines of the 4th session of the two countries' Binational Commission, which was held in Pretoria this Friday as well. Both presidents, President Cyril Ramaphosa and President Emmerson Mnangagwa, attended the business forum. President Ramaphosa used the platform to commend Zimbabwe's economic growth. In 2023, in October, he visited the Zimbabwean side of the Beitbridge border post, and as he addressed the business people this Friday, he said he was blown away with what he saw in terms of the construction of the border post.
Zimbabwe's economy is becoming more and more attractive. We are committed to developing the infrastructure that is needed to facilitate the movement of goods across our borders. The Beitbridge border post is the main commercial border between South Africa and Zimbabwe. And may I say that Zimbabwe has already shown enormous and demonstrable displays of great development. And if you've been there, you will be as impressed as I was. I was just gobsmacked. What they have done in modernizing their side of the border, processes and infrastructure, is just second to none. It's modern, world-class. You could think that New York is not even a comparator. You could They have built a new border system where people who are crossing get processed, cars get processed, trucks that carry goods get processed within a short space of time. They have the camera that sees what's in the vehicle and all that. Completely different from our side.
President Ramaphosa said the business people should ensure that their contacts become contracts.
Zimbabwe has experienced challenges, many challenges, inadequate infrastructure, inefficient processes, and many others. But now, the Zimbabwe that we are now trading with, the Zimbabwe that we are dealing with, is a Zimbabwe that is on the move. So for us as South Africa, it is real joy to have a neighbor, Minister Tau, on our northern side, who is growing, who is becoming a market for us, but a neighbor who we would also like to start making us a market, making South Africa a market, creating finished goods that they can bring into South Africa, so that we're not the only ones who export finished goods. And this is where the equalization should begin to come in. We don't compete against each other, we compete with each other against the whole world and indeed the continent.
President Mnangagwa, who also addressed the forum, said while the governments are responsible for enacting frameworks that improve the ease of doing business, it is the responsibility of the business people to ensure that trade takes place.
Government creates the framework for cooperation, but ultimately it is our businesses that must invest, produce, trade, innovate, and create employment through leveraging our heritage-based resources. I have taken careful note of the exchanges made throughout this forum. Our ministers, officials, and business leaders have dealt extensively with issues affecting trade, investment, and economic cooperation between our two countries.
President Mnangagwa said given the vast mineral resources in both countries, these countries must use the young intellect at their tertiary institutions to move the wheels of the economy.
We have young people with ideas, with energy, and with ambition. The task before us is to unlock their inherent acumen and energies for a better future. Our natural resources must increasingly feed industries within our own region and not create value for others elsewhere. I'm particularly encouraged by the innovations emerging from our universities, tertiary institutions, and innovation hubs. Our young people are developing ideas and prototypes in agriculture, in mining, in manufacturing, in engineering, in energy, information and technology, and in many other areas. What must now follow is production. An innovation which remains in a laboratory or an innovation hub has not yet delivered its full value to society is not useful.
It was not business as usual, but there was a call for the business people to ensure that during the next meeting, they will be signing contracts. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Midrand.
Meanwhile, the president, Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, is back home from South Africa. He was received at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport by Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, service chiefs, and other government officials.
The president was received here at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport by the Vice President, General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, service chiefs and senior government officials. The leaders' meeting held this Friday in Pretoria concludes the 4th Binational Commission, which began with meetings of senior officials, and the ministerial meeting is alluded by the previous report. 6 memoranda of understanding spanning agriculture, culture, women empowerment, as well as exchange within the foreign ministry were signed during the BNC. A business forum was also held on the margins of the BNC, during which again Harare and Pretoria exchanged ideas of how they can increase trade and investment. This BNC is a part of government's agenda of increasing bilateral engagements for development of Zimbabwe as aspired by the National Development Strategy 2. Olina Andori, ZBC News, Harare.
A government has assured the people of Matabeleland South Province that all the Independence Legacy projects and other development initiatives will be completed this year. This was revealed by Vice President Akeno Retired Dr. Kembo Mohadi when he toured various Independence Legacy projects in Mapisa this Friday.
With government having embarked on various transformative projects across Matabeleland South Province as part of the 46th National Independence Celebrations Legacy projects, there is consensus among the citizenry that once these projects are completed, Matabeleland South will never be the same. Now, as Vice President Keno Retired Dr. Kembo Mohadi toured Maheche primary and secondary schools, once mere village schools that have been transformed into modern institutions with science and computer laboratories, the message is the same, that government will complete all these projects.
I'm here to see as to how far you have gone with the tidying up or finishing the projects. And I found that some of them are still lacking here and there, funds here and there. So we need to look into how we are going to complete these projects so that it becomes a complete thing. Well, we had any problem with the roads funding, but I think we now have got a solution. We will be attending to the roads, and the 204 kilometers that were supposed to be surfaced, they will be surfaced by the end of this year.
Another landmark project, Mapisa Nursing School, which has reopened after 2 decades, drew the Vice President's attention.
That is value, but it is vuselela. And ama classroom mulawana amaluchwana. Sizabona ukuthi khona singayengezelela njani. Singafika khona ngale Harare singikhulumela ba ministry. Nabanye ubona ukuthi singabancedisa njani ukuthi sibe isibhedlela esikhulu esithatha abantu abaningi. Ngoba ngizwa ukuthi khona ama applications be 83,000, but bakwanisa ukuthatha only 25, which is a far cry from what we should have done.
The development, a culmination of government's decentralization of hosting of national events, has set Matabeleland South on an unprecedented development trajectory.
To Matabeleland South, this is the biggest investment which has been done in the province since independence. These projects which were done by the Second Republic.
As part of the 46th National Independence Celebrations, government embarked on the construction of Plumtree Maitengwe Road, Vlaakezi Road, Gwanda Mapisa Road, 40 computer and science laboratories across Matabeleland South, Felabusi Civil Registry, 40 village business units across Matobo District, and Joshua Nkomo Vocational Training Center. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Mapisa.
Zimbabwe is positioning its iron and steel industry as a springboard for wider industrialization, with government pushing for stronger linkages between steel production and downstream manufacturing. This comes as Dinson Iron and Steel Company is targeting an output of 1.2 million tons at its operations in Manise.
Steel is the starting point. The bigger price is the industrial value chain being built around it. That is why Dinson Iron and Steel Company is looking to connect production with local manufacturing, engineering, construction, and other downstream industries.
This is where vision met action. It has helped the wire and steel industry to reduce even the pricing, and the margins are better. And the industry can now accommodate even more employees. There's value addition through and through.
A lot of people have got appetite. The Zimbabweans in the Engineering Iron and Steel Association is benefiting a lot to the Dinson implementation, the substitution of imports, and we are getting steel at a lower prices than which we were leveraging on.
The impact stretches beyond this plant, and the links create room for jobs and new markets.
40% of our steel output is sold on the domestic market, with the remaining 60% exported to the neighbors in the SADC region. Prior to Dinson, Zimbabwe was spending between 400 million and 500 million annually importing steel and related products. We are now reversing that trend.
As captains of industry and government assessed this giant facility, it became clear that the ambition is bigger than tons of steel. It is about turning steel into products, and these products into industry.
The project is strategically aligned with the national rural industrialization agenda, particularly our drive towards mineral beneficiation, value addition, import substitution, and the development of downstream industries. Of particular importance to us is the emerging synergies between DISCO and other steel players such as Lancashire Steel and ZISCO. The development of linkages between industrial entities demonstrates precisely what NDS2 envisages, an economy where investments do not operate in isolation.
We must deliberately move away from a model in which major investments operate in isolated enclaves towards one where they serve as anchors for broad-based industrial development, creating opportunities for local businesses, strengthening domestic supply chains, building industrial capabilities, and driving inclusive economic growth.
For Zimbabwe, the measure of success will not only be how much steel is produced, but how much industry is being built around it. That is the value chain dividend government is now pursuing. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Chirumanzu.
Nearly 70,000 meters of old asbestos water pipes have been replaced as the Harare Water Project is on course to achieve the 100,000 meters target by the end of the year. Let's get the details.
Along College Road in Mount Pleasant, the site of excavators digging trenches to install 250 milliliter PVC water pipes signifies the progress of the Harare Water Project, which is set to revamp Harare's entire water production, treatment and distribution infrastructure. So far, nearly 70,000 meters of old asbestos pipes have been replaced, while a record 75,000 prepaid smart water meters have been installed in various low, middle and high-density suburbs across the city.
We have an annual target or end-of-year target of about 106,000. So as I said before, we are way ahead of time. The residents are happy. They are receiving clean water and they are receiving consistent supplies.
The city of Harare acknowledged how their partnership with the Helcro Water will revamp the entire water infrastructure, including the Morton Jeffrey water treatment plant.
Helcro is not only looking at the metering and pipework infrastructure, it is also working on Morton Jeffrey. We are targeting 520 megaliters, and they are working on filters, they are working on pumps, which I can say is at around 42%, but at the completion of such, it will then be a wholesome package which includes production, metering, and also pipe replacement.
This Thursday, the Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Senator Charles Tawengwa, told delegates at the Provincial Development Committee meeting held in Rua that Harare is finally turned the corner in terms of dealing with perennial water challenges.
I am pleased to note that progress under the City of Harare's partnership with Helcro Water, through which at least 75,000 smart prepaid water meters have been installed, complemented by the replacement of approximately 68 kilometers of aging pipelines. These interventions should improve accountability, reduce water losses, and strengthen revenue collection.
Meanwhile, the rehabilitation of the Morton Jeffrey water treatment plant to increase water production is also at full throttle to revamp the whole water supply and distribution value chain. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe's business community has expressed interest in increasing trade and investments within the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa Regional Trading Bloc through cooperation in different economic sectors.
As Zimbabwe gears to host the COMESA Heads of State and Government Summit in Harare this October, captains of industry and commerce are upbeat about growth prospects within the region. With Zimbabwe also taking over the COMESA chairmanship from Kenya, I spoke to an industrial expert, Mr. Simba Hamuli, on the anticipated benefits of the COMESA region in terms of industrial growth.
Looking at the trade agreements that we have with a number of countries that are involved in, or part of the COMESA, that will then also improve our agreements that also include issues around your double taxation agreement with different countries, issues around movement of individuals from Zimbabwe to other countries, and those that are in other countries coming to Zimbabwe.
While the nation will also host the COMESA Business Forum, a tourism industry player, Dr. Emmanuel Fundira, also explains the anticipated benefits that are likely to be accrued by local entrepreneurs as well as the economy.
Most importantly, we are also looking at connectivity, which is a very important aspect. Connectivity for Southern and Southeast Africa is second to none, and we can easily utilize that and leverage on it for the betterment of promoting that tourism legacy.
According to University of Zimbabwe Business Studies lecturer Dr. Nyasha Kaseke, the local industry should take advantage of the COMESA region agenda on industrialization.
Also, COMESA is an important event for Zimbabwe because this generates opportunities in terms of where to export some of the product that we are producing. You know that our target now is to grow manufactured exports or value-added exports or even beneficiated what exports. So this is actually an opportunity to look in terms of what are the other importing countries of our products in the SADC region and also in the COMESA region.
The COMESA region has a membership of 21 nations as well as a population hovering at around 600 million people with a gross domestic product averaging at around $1 trillion United States dollars, making it a strategic pillar for Zimbabwe's business units. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Zimbabwe is using the United Nations Convention to combat desertification in Mongolia to promote an integrated approach to drought and land degradation. The approach puts forests, agriculture, livestock and rural livelihoods at the center of landscape restoration.
Zimbabwe is using its experience with forests, rangelands and agricultural landscapes to contribute to the wider global debate on drought resilience at the ongoing UNCCD COP17 in Mongolia. And there's a particular reason why this matters to the country. Its Miombo and Mopane woodlands support rural communities but face growing pressure from degradation, changing rainfall patterns and demand for natural resources. As chair of the Food and Agriculture Organization Committee on Forest Working Group on Dryland Forests and Agri-Silvopastoral Systems, Zimbabwe is advocating for forests, crops, livestock and communities to be managed as one interconnected system.
We are here in Ulaanbaatar to discuss issues of drought resilience. These are now taking center stage, so we then need to bring everyone on board to address this issue that is at stake for us to move going forward.
Zimbabwe's argument goes beyond managing forests. It is also about preparing communities before drought strikes, rather than waiting for livelihoods to collapse and responding afterwards.
So the interest is to build farmers into big enterprises so they derive whatever benefits from the environment and they value add, we're linking them to markets and they're making a living out of all of the work that they're doing.
For Zimbabwe, that experience points to a bigger lesson, that communities cannot simply be recipients of conservation programs but have to be part of the decisions about how land and natural resources are managed.
How do we ensure that our communities are better able to manage their environment for prosperity? And not only for prosperity and posterity, but also for economic development. They should be able to have sustainable livelihoods and ensure that at the same time as they are living off the land, there is sustainability. We are able to then generate income, but at the same time...
Land degradation neutrality, biodiversity conservation, and climate resilience are all critical to achieving Vision 2030, where landscapes can continue producing food, supporting livestock, generating income, and protecting biodiversity, even as drought and climate variability intensify. Yolande Moyo, ZBC News, Ulaanbaatar.
Remember, we'd always love to keep the conversation going beyond our newsroom. So do join our growing online followers and community by checking us across all social media platforms. Our handle is at ZBC News Online. Our website is www.zbcnews.co.zw. And you can also stay connected with us wherever you go, because all ZBC television content and radio stations are now available on our OTT platform, that's Z+. Let's take a look at stories still to come in the bulletin. And our look at business. RBZ keeps monetary policy steady amid low inflation and stable economy. And Sport National Sports Stadium gets approval to host international matches by CAF. Don't go far. We'll be back shortly.
It's the time of the year again. Mashingo takananga kusanga naye.
Join us in Masvingo for the Sanganai Hlanganani Zimbabwe Tourism Expo, starting with the September Sports Tourism Carnival from the 1st to the 4th of September. Then the Tourism Expo from the 9th to the 12th of September 2026. Experience Zimbabwe. Zimbo. Every day, millions of moments travel through the air. A call home, a payment made, a lesson learned, a life saved. But behind each moment is something steady, something quiet, unseen, unshaken, powering connection, supporting lives. This is Econet Infraco, Zimbabwe's largest private infrastructure group, comprising towers, power, and real estate. We build and operate the essential systems that hold the country together with scale, certainty, and purpose. We bring together three powerful engines of progress under one roof. Towers that carry the signal, clean energy that keeps it alive, and foundations that hold it all in one place. Because behind every connection, every transaction, every step forward, there's a quiet force. Econet Infraco, built for resilience, designed for growth.
From the grandest stage, the badges change, but the passion remains.
It's a special goal. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. This football is from the heavens. What a story this is.
10 months of drama lie ahead. The stage is set.
Get and stay connected to DSTV Compact for only $32 and catch the world's best football. It's on.
There has never been a better time to fly between Zimbabwe and the United Kingdom. Enjoy Air Zimbabwe's promotional fares available for travel up to the 15th of November. Fly from London to Harare from just £490 one way or £675 return. From Harare to London, fares start from only $495 United States dollars one way or $890 with return. Flights depart Harare every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, while flights from London operate every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Whether you're traveling for business, visiting family and friends, or simply coming home, enjoy the convenience of flying direct with the warmth and care that makes every journey special. Book today at airzimbabwe.aro, visit any Air Zimbabwe sales office, or contact your preferred travel agent. Fares are subject to availability, so book early to secure your seat. Air Zimbabwe, Zimbabwean hospitality in the skies.
You're still watching the main news. Now, deep in the heart of Mutoko is a story that has remained hidden. It is the story of a war collaborator who established a safe haven for freedom fighters in a cave that also served as a recovery center. Our Mashonaland East Bureau Chief Kenyas Chivuje walks us through the cave, affectionately known as Bako Radenias.
Along the rugged mountains of Ngowa in Kapondoro area of Mutoko district lies a cave carrying one of the memories of the country's untold stories of the liberation struggle, as it was home to war collaborator Nzero Jani, whose Chimrenga name was Denias. After the establishment of concentration camps, also known as keeps or protected villages in 1975, to forcibly cut off support for liberation fighters, Jani chose to stay in the mountain caves, providing shelter, food and medical assistance to liberation fighters while constantly evading capture. Life inside the caves was harsh and dangerous, but that did not discourage him. Jani vividly narrates the intriguing story of a man who stayed in a cave for up to 5 years.
Ndakagara mukipi wanu wakaisiwa muna 75. Madzimai angu inini ubva wauya kuzondiudza ndichiri musango imomo kuti baba chirega henyu kuuya kukipi matengeswa muri kutotsvagwa zvokuti mukaoniwa muri kuurayiwa. Zvakanaka ndokubva ndauya kubva ndagara pabako lino iri riri pana Ngowa.
Despite the danger, Jan was relentless in supporting freedom fighters, including the wounded.
Ndakabatsira Comrade Big Six, ndakagara naye abva akuwara. Ndokubva kwazouya comrade akakuwara pamapona ainzi Comrade Fungai Chitepo.
Jan's family paid a huge price, enduring torture for refusing to reveal his hiding place.
Takagara mukipi. Kana takaita mukipi murume edu kubva abuda kunze. Isu takasara imomo tichirohwa. Tichibatiwa tichienda kwa Mtoko kujoko. Tichienda korohwa inini ndakatodonha mazino mairi nokurohwa. Takabva tasungwa kuenda kujoko. Takasvika tichirohwa. Ndiko kurohwa. Ndakazobva muimomo ndazvimba kumeso kudai. Handichagona kuona.
Growing up in caves instead of a family home was the norm rather than the choice for Jani's children.
Makomrades aiuya akakuwara. Waitouya uchitoona comrade haana peno chese ichi chakabviswa. Wakomana, hondo iti nokunda ere. Asi uchimunzwa chete achidaidzira kuti pamberi nechi nehondo, abereki pamberi nehondo. Asi wakanyanya kurapwa nababa pano. Wainyanya kuti wakasvika wakakuwara, waingotreatwa mishonga ipo, baba wazhinji waizotakurwa kwaizoenda aitoziziva kuti waiendepi nawo.
Jani's story of bravery reflects the sacrifices made by thousands of ordinary Zimbabweans whose heroic acts are not documented.
Kuwana vadiki vari kukura, nhoroondo yavari kuona pano patiri panapa, murangariri sango raityisa maigara mhondoro. Saka ngavazive kuti nyika iyi haina kuuya neballpoint, haina kuuya nokutaura, yakauya nekudeuka kweropa.
More than 4 decades after independence, the caves of Ngowa stand as silent witnesses to those sacrifices made during the liberation struggle, with the story of Bakora Denias bringing to the fore extraordinary contributions by brave war collaborators who risked their lives to liberate the country. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutoko.
Government has called upon traditional leaders to maintain law and order within communities, which is key in ensuring development. This call was made by the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable Daniel Garwe, during the installation of Chief Fungai Manjiva as substantive Chief Nemanwa in Masvingo.
Hundreds of people gathered at Chirichoga Primary School in Masvingo this Thursday to witness a historic occasion which marked the restoration of the Nemamwa chieftainship that had been downgraded to headmanship during the colonial era. The event saw Mr. Fungai Manjiva being installed as Chief Nemamwa. Officiating the event, Honorable Daniel Garwe said traditional leaders, including Chief Nemamwa, have a critical responsibility to spearhead development, protect the environment and public infrastructure.
Takatarisa mutemo wavanoshandisa kutungamira weTraditional Leadership Act vanooneka vachityaira budiriro kumaruwa.
Masvingo Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Ezra Chadzamira, added that traditional leaders remain custodians of the country's cultural values.
Dunhu reMasvingo nderimwe dunhu ranga rasaririra zvizhinji pakugadzwa kwamadzimambo. Mamwe akanga akatoregwa ushe hwavo nguva yevarungu hwauya hurumende chipiri inotungamirirwa nababa Mnangagwa vari kudzosera ushe kuvaridzi vahwo. Tinoda kuvatenda president vedu nebasa rakanaka ravari kuita.
The Chief's Council and the family expressed gratitude to the government for restoring the chieftainship, which was abolished by the colonial government.
President vari kuita kuti pese pavaninogadza mambo vari kumupa zvikwanisiro.
Tinoda kutenda vatungamiriri venyika pane zvaatirongera. Pakunyatsotongwa nounotonga zvakanaka zvisina unohlichidzira.
Ms. Tifungai Manjiva belongs to the Chirichoga House, one of the two houses representing Nemamwa's sons. Ms. Matina, ZBC News, Masvingo.
As ZANU-PF is walking the talk on youth empowerment with young people in Shamba, Mashonaland Central Province, benefiting from free tillage services under the Presidential Tractor Implements Scheme.
The Presidential Agriculture Implements Program, launched by President Dr. Emmerson Mnangagwa last year, targeting the youth, continues to benefit them, with young people in Shamba district already benefiting from tillage services for the 2026-2027 summer cropping season. ZANU-PF Shamba District Secretary for Youth Affairs, Engineer Ryan Dokwani, says young people in Shamba District are reaping the rewards of the ruling party's youth empowerment policy for the second year, as the implements they received from the president are now at work ahead of the summer cropping season.
I would like to thank His Excellency continuing supporting us, the youths, and by so doing, it means our future is guaranteed, our life is guaranteed. Today, we are here at Parents City Political District in Shamba, helping our youth in tilling land for them so that they can have a good harvest for 2026-2027 season.
Beneficiaries thanked the ruling party for walking the talk regards youth empowerment.
Chirongwa ichi pakati peana pangu nanga ndisingafungirewo kuti zwara nhasi iri gore rino 2026 ndichasvikawo panguva yekutonziwo munda wangu ucharimwawo netractor sezviri kuitika izvo.
Hangu ndandisina tariso rekuti kuchatoyawo tractor tichitotirimirawo, takavarayirwa kungonzwa kungosarudzwa munzvimbo. Ndiri kuronga kuda kurima chibage kuti ndichandokwanisa kurarama nemhuri uye ndikarima ndinogonozotengesawo.
Under the Presidential Agriculture Implements Program, each district in Mashonaland Central Province received a tractor, a disc harrow, plow and planter.
Ndiri kuona shoko ra president wedu Comrade E.D. Mnangagwa rekutaura kuti leaving no one and no place behind. Chiri chinyatsochizadzisa nokuti mukatarisa izvozvi watangira kumayouth.
In a bid to leave no one behind the quest to boost food security amid an expected El Nino, Shamba district is targeting to till 1,000 hectares of land for the youth. Tapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Shamba.
Public-private partnerships continue to yield results in the country's wildlife conservation sector following the commissioning of conservation and community development projects at Chipinge Safari area.
The projects, implemented through a strategic partnership between the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority and the Aware Trust, are meant to bolster law enforcement, improve operational efficiency, elevate staff welfare, and mitigate human-wildlife conflict in Chipinge and surrounding areas. Community members and the local leadership in the area welcomed the development, saying the projects demonstrate a balanced approach to conservation and developmental needs of rural communities living alongside wildlife boundaries.
Zvinotendeka chaizvo. Dai zvikaramba zvakadaro zvinopa budiriro.
Vana vedu vaakirwa chikoro ichi vanoite kuti ndo pachazova ma-president amangwani, ma-teachers amangwani.
Key infrastructure handed over includes a newly constructed classroom block at Kondo Primary School, refurbished main administrative offices, renovated junior staff housing, and a 50-kilometer game-proof boundary fence.
Today is not only an event where we are commissioning infrastructure, groundbreaking, and celebrating only the hardware, but we are also demonstrating the government's approach to conservation, an approach that is inclusive, that is people-centered, and also anchored on national development agenda.
The most important thing we are building in Chipinge is not infrastructure. It is spirit. It is the Chipinge spirit. A spirit of professionalism, a spirit of resilience, a spirit of pride.
Manicaland Secretary for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Mr. Abiot Maronge, highlighted the critical role of strategic alliances in safeguarding the nation's natural heritage.
These do not simply represent
the handing over of structures made of concrete and wire. It is a celebration of community resilience, ecological stewardship, and effective partnership. A partnership between the government of Zimbabwe and our communities on one hand, and our development partners.
Meanwhile, Chipinge Safari Area serves as a vital sanctuary for 20 critically endangered black rhinoceroses, with the newly installed 50-kilometer game-proof fence expected to secure this key population while providing a crucial buffer for adjacent human settlements. Geima Tambo, ZBC News, Chipinge.
We'll be back shortly with business news. Stay with us.
We've always known what it takes to grow. But this is what it feels like to finally step inside the dream. It's that quiet moment when a room holds everything it used to be and everything it made possible. That this is actually mine feeling when the first payment hits. That pure adrenaline from a small space to an empire you rule. And when you said you'd almost sleep in your first car, we made sure you actually did. Plans may adapt, circumstances will evolve, but your growth, that's non-negotiable. Bank on growth with Stanbic Bank Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is our home, and we drive her growth.
Stanbic Bank is a registered commercial bank and a member of the Deposit Protection Scheme.
Missed the breaking news on ZBC? Missed your favorite show again because you were stuck at work? Not anymore. Introducing Z Plus, the new ZBC OTT platform. Listen to Radio Zimbabwe, Classic 263, Power FM, National FM, or any of your favorite ZBC radio stations live and stay connected to the latest music, sport, talk shows on radio wherever you are. You can also stream ZBC television live and catch up on news, dramas, sport, gospel, or your classic shows whenever it suits you. Listen and watch on your phone, tablet, or smart TV, anytime, anywhere. Download the Z Plus app now from the Google Play Store or Apple App Store, or visit zplus.co.zw. Z Plus, home in your pocket.
Harare, get ready for an unforgettable celebration of music, culture, and entertainment. This 22nd of August 2026, the St. Ignatius Festival takes over the Old Hararian Sports Club from 12 p.m. till late, featuring an incredible live lineup of Ja Praiser, Saint Flo, Tami Moyo, and Volts JT. And that's not all. Enjoy performances from Father Moby, Romac, Trinity Choir, plus the hottest sounds from DJ T-Eyes, DJ Sponjay, and DJ Spice. Whether you're coming with friends, family, or the whole crew, there is something for everyone. General tickets are just $20, VIP is $100, and kids under 12 get in for only $5. Get your physical tickets at Trinity Pharmacies, St. Peter's Kubatana in Highfields, at Chicken Inn at Greenfields, Joiner City Food Court, and Eastgate 105, or get your tickets online at www.hypenation.co.zw. For inquiries, call 0719 583 511 or 0774 831 421. St. Ignatius Festival, one stage, one celebration, one unforgettable experience. Powered by ZBC and NMB Bank.
Welcome back. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe says it sees no reason to change the current monetary policy path given the obtaining macroeconomic stability characterized by low inflation.
Major economic highlights contained in the mid-term monetary policy review, which was released by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe this Wednesday, indicate that Zimbabwe's economy remains on a solid footing, as major economic indicators have largely improved over the last 2 years. Chief among them is the year-on-year inflation, which ended at 4.2% as at the end of July. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, in conjunction with the Confederation of Zimbabwe Industries, this Friday held a breakfast meeting with some of the key economic stakeholders, where the governor, Dr. John Mushavano, remarked that there is no need to tweak some of the monetary policies which have brought this much-needed economic stability.
As a central bank, we believe in policy consistency. The monetary policies that we have put in place are working. We have managed to achieve single-digit inflation consistently since January this year. We have managed to achieve a stable exchange rate uninterrupted since September 2024. So if it's working, why should we be changing it? So we believe in policy consistency.
And meanwhile, Dr. Mushavano said the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe will not rush the process of transitioning into a monocurrency where the ZiG will only be the sole legal tender, but will only do so when conditions precedent to the attainment of a local currency are fully met. And one of these is the attainment of a low-level, long-term inflation environment, which has already been met, as well as the accumulation of sufficient gold and foreign currency reserves at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe to achieve a 3-month import cover. Owen Mandova, ZBC News, Harare.
From business, we get into the arts. The weekend promises to be an eventful one for showbiz lovers, with a lot of shows lined up for them in various leisure spots around the country.
My God, that is who you are.
Gospel music enthusiasts are set to converge at the Celebration Center in Harare this Saturday for a worship concert featuring Nigerian stars Sinach and Victor Thompson, alongside some of Zimbabwe's leading gospel voices. The concert, dubbed Arise with Sinach, will also showcase Zimbabwean gospel talent with Bonnie Dushel and the Celebration Choir, Joyful Praise Choir, Eliana Makombe, Janet Manyowa, Iladin Sharon Cherai, among the local acts on the lineup. In Bulawayo, picnic and chill light up Kilani suburb. The family event, which has now become one of the largest summer precursor events in Bulawayo, will be characterized by musical performances.
It's all about the picnic and the chilling, also about networking, socializing, and just having a great time. So what's exciting about this one is we've included a couple of games like Giant Jenga, Cornholes, XOXOs to keep our picnic goers entertained, and we've also got a massive lineup of DJs. We have back-to-back mixes from DJ Frosty, DJ Smith, Chitonic, Genic.
In Mashonaland East Province, Murewa is set to host the Summer Vibes Music Festival. Artists billed to perform include Mbeu, Silent Killer, Ndunge Youth, Windsor, and Ngwere Kwamtoko. Mutare's biggest highlight this weekend is the premier sold-out festival set for this Saturday at the Mutare Sports Club. The show will feature major performances by Takura, Saint Flo, Nyasha David, and Junior Spraga. On Sunday, Afrofusion star Mbeu will be at a local Harare joint serenading music lovers. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, a lot to look forward to in terms of entertainment this weekend. We take a break. We'll be back shortly with sport.
From the grandest stage, the badges change, but the passion remains.
It's a special goal. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. This football is from the heavens. What a story this is.
10 months of drama lie ahead. The stage is set.
Get and stay connected to DSTV Compact for only $32 and catch the world's best football. It's on.
2026 Euro celebrations. Lest we forget.
Zimbabwe nasito pemberera rusununguko rugarene runyararo. Zimbabwe nasito pemberera rusununguko rugarene runyararo.
Rugare rwakauya neriko
magamba kasvipira kusunungura nyika.
Yati rugare rwakauya neriko
magamba kasvipira kusunungura nyika. Namhla siyajabula ile nkululeko ihlala kahle. Namhlanje siyajabula ile nkululeko ihlala kahle. Namhla siyajabula ile nkululeko ihlala kahle nokuthula.
Heroes live in our hearts. We honor your service. Kubasabezi kusika Limpopo. From every village, town and city. We are one people, one nation, bound by sacrifice, peace and hope. Together we build, together we protect, together we rise.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services.
The Castle Lager Premier Soccer League title race enters a crucial stage this weekend, with leaders Scotland and second-placed Hard Rock facing tricky away ties as the battle for supremacy intensifies.
The Castle Lager Premier Soccer League title race is heating up, with the leaders Scotland and second-placed Hard Rock separated by just 3 points heading into matchday 27, leaving little room for error as the two sides continue their battle for the championship. Scotland will be looking to maintain their advantage when they face Zimbabwe in what promises to be a demanding encounter, with the defending champions facing a side that gave them their first league defeat of the season. The league leaders will now be seeking revenge while also hoping to avoid another slip-up that could give Hard Rock an opportunity to close the gap at the summit. With just 3 points separating the top two, every result assumes a greater significance, and Scotland know that victory against Zimbabwe could go a long way in keeping their title challenge firmly on course. Hard Rock face a potentially tricky assignment against the FC Hunters, another fixture that could have a significant bearing on the title race. Hunters may not be among the leading contenders, but they have proved to be an awkward opponent for several teams this season, showing that they have the ability to frustrate more fancied sides and make matches difficult for opponents who fail to find a way through. Hard Rock will therefore have to be at their best if they are to collect maximum points, keep the pressure on Scotland, and ensure the 3-point gap at the top does not widen. Away from the title race, the weekend program also features several intriguing battles, with the Cape United travelling to Blyth to face Blyth Chiefs in a match that could provide another stern test for the Green Machine. Inconsistent FC Platinum will be hoping to rediscover their winning touch when they host Agama at Mandava Stadium, while Moza take on ZPC Kariba at Ngoni Stadium in another counter where both sides will be looking to strengthen their positions. At Ascot Stadium, struggling Tail 1 and Triangle clash in a potentially significant relegation battle, where both teams are aware that points are becoming increasingly valuable as the season moves into its decisive stages. On Sunday, Dynamos face a potentially tricky assignment against their former son Tonderai Ndiraya, who returns to Rufaro Stadium with his stuttering chicken inside, adding another interesting subplot to an already important league fixture. In Blayo, Highlanders host the high-riding Hirantos at Barberfield Stadium, while Manika Diamonds welcome Ngeze Platinum Stars to Sakufa Stadium in Mutare in another match that could have an impact on the log standings.
Newly appointed Mighty Warriors head coach Stella Gotal has set her sights on transforming Zimbabwe's women's national team into a consistently competitive force, insisting that she will concentrate on player development.
The Croatian UEFA Pro license holder becomes the first foreign head coach of the Mighty Warriors, with her appointment forming part of the Zimbabwe Football Association's wider Dream 2030 strategy to overhaul the country's national team structures and establish a sustainable pathway for the development of women's football. ZIFA's technical blueprint places particular emphasis on creating a continuous pathway from both men and women's under 15, under 17 and under 20 teams, ensuring talented young boys and girls are identified early and given a clear route into senior international football. Gotal, who has experience working with Croatia's women football structures, Saudi Arabia's women national team, and Gibraltar's senior women's side, will lead the Mighty Warriors into the Olympic qualification campaign, which begins in October. While Olympic qualification will provide her first major competitive test, the bigger prize is to guide Zimbabwe back onto the continental stage, with the qualification for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations among the program's biggest ambitions.
Everyone will get the opportunity. But the players who will deserve the national team jersey has to perform well. So somehow, first of all, the selection of the players who will participate in the friendly games, and then maybe later on if we qualify to the major tournaments.
Gotal's focus will therefore extend beyond the immediate results of the senior team, with the new coach keen to establish a clear development pathway that allows young talented girls to progress through the national team structures rather than relying solely on the existing senior squad. ZIFA President Nqobile Magwizi says the wider project represents a fundamental change in the way Zimbabwe develop footballers, stressing that the Dream 2030 starts at the youngest national team level rather than with the senior sides.
By 2030, we want a clearly identifiable Zimbabwean football philosophy. We want a much stronger women's football program. Ultimately, we want national teams capable of consistently participating at AFCON, at WAFCON, the Olympics, and the FIFA World Cups.
Football analyst Marvin Moy believes that the appointment of Gotal is a step in the right direction for Zimbabwe women's football.
Girls' football has been one of the slowest type of football that we have in Zim. So she's going to have to work and improve the fitness levels of our girls, the intensity of our girls. So this, for me, is an advantage, and we seem to be going somewhere.
The long-term philosophy is at the heart of a Dream 2030, with the ZIFA seeking to move the national teams away from competition to competition, planning towards generation-to-generation development. Anna Shembrambedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
The National Sports Stadium has been approved to host international matches by the Confederation of African Football.
After 5 long years in the football wilderness, the National Sports Stadium is back on the international stage. Its last international match was the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifier when the Warriors hosted Ethiopia in November 2021. Since then, the Warriors have been forced to find a refuge away from home, and it was the same for clubs participating in the CAF interclub competitions. Now, the National Sports Stadium is ready to open its gates again. And the ZIFA president, Nqobile Magwizi, is already inside the stadium waiting to celebrate the good news of the Warriors coming back home.
This is a big moment.
A very big moment, Larry. Unbelievable. Never imagined that we will be here today. And with this approval that has come through, very happy for the Zimbabwean fans who have been continuously asking, when next are we going to see the Warriors play at home? And the answer came today.
You addressed the press conference back in April and you said in September we're playing at home. People were saying, yeah, this is a madman.
Yeah, it's faith. It's called faith, you know. To be honest with you, at that point, everything, of course, was pointing to a moment where in September we'd be able to play here at home. But, you know, with any project, there are a lot of variables that, you know, you come across, and these variables, if you don't get the good support which the government of Zimbabwe was giving, but it's unbelievable, man. It's quite a good feeling. Happy for the players, happy for the fans who are always faithful to Zimbabwean football, who always support, through thick and thin, the fans that would, fly to Durban, drive to Durban, those who would go to Rwanda, and here we are.
For the dream now of hosting AFCON, what does they say?
Well, this fits in snugly to that plan. Now we are in a much stronger position, much stronger position to bid with confidence and to demand from CAF that we'll be given the opportunity with our co-partners, South Africa, Botswana, to be able to host in this region.
There are players like Tawanda Chirewa, Tawanda Maswanise. They've been doing wonders outside the country, but they've never felt the magic of being home.
Wow, and I know how the feeling is going to be for them, and I'm looking forward to them playing here for the first time. It's going to be an amazing experience.
They've had it. It's been quite a tour for Zimbabwean football, playing matches away from home, from hosting matches in Uganda, in South Africa for the national team, while also clubs are playing in the CAF Interclub competitions, have been forced to go to neighboring countries, Zambia, Botswana, you name it. Now they're coming back home. And firstly, the Warriors will get to open this giant stadium against, that is, the Democratic Republic of Congo next month. Lawrence Rusira, ZBC News, Harare.
The stage is set for the Paralympic Games that will kick off this Saturday in Marondera following the vetting and classification of athletes. The Chief Executive Officer of the 2026 National Youth and Paralympic Games, Jake Makate, gives us an update on the proceedings in Marondera.
We are happy that all provinces are here today. We received the teams last night. And all the provinces, they have got participants. I'm happy to announce that we have got goalball, we have got football HI, we have got netball HI, we have got VI athletics, we have got special athletics. So all the athletics are going to take place at Peterhouse. Then we have got goalball, netball HI, football HI. It's also going to be at Peterhouse, and some are going to go to Marondera High. All the participants are in camp. Today we were just doing the vettings and the classification as well. Tomorrow we start our camps. We are going to have athletics at Peterhouse in the morning. Then we have goalball as well at Marondera High. Monday on the 24th, that's when we are going to have a ceremony, the opening and closing ceremony, which we will be having the pleasure of the Minister of Sport, Honorable Retired Lieutenant General Sanyatwe, who will be with us, and we believe that would really bring down the curtain for the National Youth Games.
From sport, we check in with the Weather Center.
Sunny and warm conditions prevailed across the country today, though the morning was cold with slight ground frost occurring in parts of Matabele and South. However, as the day made headway, temperatures dropped again towards the evening, returning to cold conditions tonight. And I was expecting these weather conditions to change? Absolutely no. Tonight, expecting overnight clear skies across the whole country with briefly cloudy periods in Chiredzi area. Tomorrow it should be generally warm across the country. Sunny skies to prevail in most parts of Zimbabwe with briefly cloudy periods over Matabele and South, as well as the extreme southeastern parts of the country. Bulawayo cold at first, becoming warm by the day throughout the forecast period. Sunny skies to prevail for Matabele and for Matopos, getting cloudy on Monday. Cold at first in Uganda under sunny skies, warm throughout the afternoons for the most parts of the focus period. Masvingo as well. We're expecting cool conditions in the morning, becoming warm as the day progresses. Gweru to experience sunny skies and getting cloudy on Monday onwards. Mutare as well. Cold at first, becoming warm by the afternoon. Chances of ground frost cannot be ruled out. Same applies for Nyanga. Cold conditions still expected in the early hours of the day. Marondera, sunny skies to prevail throughout the forecast period, though cold at first and towards the evening. Harare as well, we're expecting sunny skies to prevail throughout the forecast period. Cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon. Kwekwe, partly cloud conditions expected at the beginning of the week. Kadoma should be cold in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon under sunny skies throughout the forecast period. Now as we move on, Chinhoyi is expected to be sunny throughout the forecast period, though cold at first and towards the evening. Lupane, we're expecting sunny skies to prevail throughout the forecast period, generally warm during the afternoons. Bindura, cool in the morning, becoming warm by the afternoon under sunny skies. Victoria Falls, sunny skies to prevail, cool at first, becoming warm by the afternoon throughout the forecast period. Now, as we move on, Kariba over the northwestern parts of Zimbabwe, mild at first, becoming warm by the afternoon throughout the forecast period. Thank you for tuning in, and that's all weather news. Good night.
And that's how we end the bulletin tonight. From all of us here, do take care.